Here we are, everybody. Welcome to Play Like a Jet Zone right here. I'm your host, Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Greene, and another L, another loss for the New York Jets. Here we are. Wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. And here we are again, doing this all over again. Man, this is hard, man. You see this jersey I have on? See this jersey I have on right here? This is Mekhi Becton, first-round pick for the New York Jets this year. We haven't seen him in a couple of games because the coaching staff recklessly threw him back out there as an emergency backup on Thursday Night Football. So this I got right before the game started. The lone bright spot of today. The lone bright spot of today. Another loss for the Jets, 24-0. They get skunked. And then every time they had a chance at points, not again another game that wasn't competitive, but another time that they had a chance at points, there's a false start on the quarterback. There's Joe Flacco doing silly things. This whole team just sucks. It's just one suck after another suck. There was the intentional grounding by Joe Flacco at the end of the game. That kicked him out of what we thought was field goal range. And here's the most Jets thing ever. Okay? They're down 24-0. The Jets have a choice. They can either kick a 55-yard field goal, which would have been a career long for Sam Ficken, or go for it. And let me check my notes here. With a successful field goal attempt, they would have turned it from a 3-score game to checks notes a 3-score game. Come on, man. Like this... Like, at some point, it's just, like, laughable how bad it is, right? That the Jets are so inept. Here is, I want to give you another stat, because this is the one that really, kind of hits home for me. Sure, Adam Gase sucks. A lot of people have said that, no question about it. But there's an interesting fun fact here. Okay, through the first 6 weeks of the season, here are the first half deficits the Jets faced. Week 1. 21-3. That's how much they were down. Week 2, 21-3. Week 3, 17-7. Week 4, 17-13. Week 5, 17-3. Week 6, 21-0. All in all, through the first half of all of those games, the Jets were outscored 114-29. Think about that for a second. They've been basically outscored by, it's a little less than this, but basically the Jets have been outscored by 100 points, a century mark, basically 100 points in the first half. Do you know how bad you have to be outscored by that many points? Now, I don't want to be over dramatic here, but really, it's 74 points. The Jets have been outscored by 74 points in just the first half alone through the first 6 weeks of the season. Okay, there are obviously some teams are more talented than others. The Jets are not very talented. There is no one that will argue that point. The Jets are untalented, a very bad football team. But they are so bad that, like, the difference between their bad and whatever team they're playing is so obvious immediately that you can see it in those first half scores. Again, down 21-3, 21-3, 17-3. This today, 21-0 was the score of that game. How unprepared, undisciplined, and pathetic do you have to be out of the game by the first half? Like, there's no reason to play the rest of the game because you are so terrible. You're so bad that there's no reason to play the rest of the game. That's how bad the Jets have been this year. Their point differential is number 1 in the league. That's probably the only thing they're number 1 in. All year, you look at that fun fact of how badly they're getting their ass beat on a weekly basis. It's not even close. It's not even close. And I'm glad that I got one thing right. On the pregame show, there were 3 winless teams. When we did this pregame show at noon, there were 3 winless teams in football. The New York Giants, the Atlanta Falcons, and the New York Jets. And what did we say on this pregame show? There's too much talent and competency within the Giants and the Falcons for those teams to go winless this year. And the fact of the matter, there's 2 winless teams in NFL history, the Cleveland Browns and Detroit Lions. The Jets will join that elite group this year. It is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I'm going to channel a little Paul Heyman here. I'm not giving you anything else. It's a spoiler alert. That's what I'm telling you right now. The Jets are going 0-16. They are not going to win a football game this year. How pathetic and unprepared. Let me just say this. The Jets coaching staff are paid to come up with that bullshit that was just on the TV. That game plan that was just on the tube. They spent a week preparing. That pathetic excuse for what we just saw in the Jets versus the Dolphins game was something the so-called paid employees of the New York Jets spent a week on and went around the room and said, you know what? This is a good game plan. This plan should work. They had enough people on that coaching staff that bought that bullshit that they said, hey, let's roll it out there. And Adam Gase earlier this week, he said, you know what? Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I should give up play calling. Let me poll the rest of my coaches in the room, right? This is what he says. Guys, what do you think? Should I give up the play calling? Do you think that'll make a difference? And the rest of the room said no. And Dow Logan's, his buddy on offense, said, hey, man, let me just tell you real quick that guess what? You're not the problem, man. It's the execution. You're cooking up perfect game plans. You're cooking up perfect game plans that apparently the Jets are messing up. That's what the rest of the coaching staff told Adam Gase. Everything is fine. The players are fucking this up. Besides that, you're perfect, man. You are the best, Adam Gase. You're great. The only people that apparently are messing up is everyone else. But Adam Gase, no! He has the perfect game plan. But everyone else in the room are the ones that are messing it up. You know how bad you have to be where you are immediately, the score differential is immediately separated like that. And again, the game plan that you just witnessed for the last 2 or 3 hours on the TV between the Jets and the Dolphins, paid people went around the room, spent a week and hours upon hours of practice saying, guys, this is going to work. The coaching staff put those players in virtual rooms, real rooms, whatever, and looked them in the eye and said, guys, we're going to win. We're going to kick the Miami Dolphins' ass, and here's how we're going to do it. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. And the Jets players are like, okay, let's do this, baby. Let's go. And then they show up, and they get beat 24-0. And I'm going to be honest with you, it was worse than the score indicates. The Jets didn't convert a third down until, 10 minutes and 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. They didn't convert a third down until there was 10 minutes and 40 seconds left in the fourth quarter. What were they doing the rest of the game? What were they doing the rest of the game? What? What were they doing? Anyone know? Anyone any suggestions? Any comments? Any tips? Any tricks? Because that would have been better than the bull crap we just got served from Adam Gase. My God. And then despite the fact that they're getting their ass kicked the entire game, let's give some more Frank Gore a run. Let's see what he has at 37 years of age. Are you kidding me? He's 37. What about, I don't know, LaMichael Pirine, the rookie running back? Maybe we can see what he has. I thought, you know what? Adam Gase cuts Le'Veon Bell. Again, and he immediately goes to Kansas City Chiefs because, of course, he does. Can't wait for that Jets-Chiefs game, by the way. But I'm like, wow, now he has no choice, but he has to go to LaMichael Pirine. There's no Bell on this team. There's Gore, some rando named Ty Johnson, and there's LaMichael Pirine. By virtue of lack of bodies, he has to go to Pirine, right? No, he doesn't have to go to Pirine. Good Lord. No, he doesn't. And that's what, DJ Gig, thanks for all the comments. Everybody who's joining in, drop some comments in the YouTube live chat. Let's talk it up. And also, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. We're growing the channel. We do this, believe it or not. This 0-6 football team, I do weekly pre- and post-game shows right here, live immediately after the game and at noon before all the games start. Every week, believe it or not, there is a guy for this winless sack of crap football team that somehow concocts an entire show to talk about the New York Jets. You're welcome. So please hit the subscribe button. Show some support, unlike anything the Jets have done for any of you as you've been watching all year. But anywho, let's get to some of the comments. Okay, Vinny, the Dolphins fan, I don't think Miami converted any. So after the Jets did, and they were still up 24-0, Vinny. And they were still up 24-0. That speaks even more to it. Good Lord, that's pathetic. All right, DJ Gig. Yes, 2nd and 10. What can we rely on? Frank Gore up the middle. What does that play sheet that Adam Gase is looking at the entire game look like? Frank Gore up the middle, or maybe Frank Gore up the middle. Guys, what do you think? Great? Okay. And when he turns and looks at anybody, there's no one there because Adam Gase is on the bench by himself. Frank Gore up the middle, folks. It's our tried and true, baby. All right, Vinny, how about Tua taking the field, though? Fantastic. He had the raving ovation from the however many fans were at the Dolphin Stadium, turns around, hands it off, does a nice rollout. Tua time. Great for Tua. There was a little shining moment for you Dolphins fans, thank God. I'm glad one team showed up. The Miami Dolphins. Congratulations. Yes. I'm surprised they didn't beat the Jets by more. If I'm being blunt, I'm surprised they didn't beat them by more. I'm going to be really honest with you. Again, there's no other way to put it. I am just surprised that it was that close because, quite frankly, it shouldn't have been. It was 21-0 at the end of the first half. 21-0. And it's not like that's unlike any other Jets game from this year. They've been down. They've been down. Good Lord. They've been down 21-3, 17-0, 21-3. That's been the sexy one they've been down by seemingly on a game-to-game basis. But Jesus. I mean, Jesus Christ, this is sucking the soul out of me, man. And I barely have any left. I just want to make that perfectly clear. All right, let's go to some more comments here. DJ Gig, welcome. All right, let's look at you here. Just doesn't make sense. The slides that Joe Douglas really thinks Gase is the guy at this point. Anyone off the street can do a better job. Quite frankly, DJ, I agree. And here's the thing. I shared the Joe Douglas reaction, right? They kept doing the camera shot up there. The shot of this was just like, what a shot, by the way. I have that video on my Twitter. Feel free to retweet that and use that reaction for whatever you want. Where he slaps his face and the hand goes down and the camera's just perfectly on him at the right time. Like, there's no way. And let's be honest here. Joe Douglas is on a completely separate timeline than Adam Gase. Sure, Adam Gase could have gotten him the job, and he could have driven down to his house and gave a whole speech. Maybe, perhaps. But I don't give a flying hoot. If I'm Joe Douglas, you can obviously read the room. You can read social media. You can hear the interviews. Everyone hates Adam Gase, and he sucks most importantly. It's not like we just hate him for no reason. He's been god-awful. His offense has been terrible. This brilliant offensive mind that's taken us where offense is going. If this is where offense is going, I don't want any part of it. Turn the boat around and go the other direction. Please. It's got to be better than the crap that we've been seeing on a weekly basis. So Joe Douglas, quite frankly, for his own sanity, there's no way Adam Gase could possibly be retained after this godforsaken season. And I'll tell you this, fans that are all tuning in on YouTube Live, okay? The Jets' best chance at a win was this game that just happened. They lost 24-0. The only better chance, if you want to maybe look at something, is when the Jets are at home against the Dolphins. But the Dolphins just kicked their ass at home, and it's their 5th straight road victory over the Jets. Now they got the Bills, Chiefs, Seahawks, Patriots twice. Who are they beating? Who, I ask? Whom? Is it the Chiefs? No. Seahawks? Hell no. Bills? Don't think so. Okay? They're not beating any of these godforsaken teams. Yes, I am somewhat less content than normal, which, to be honest, well, they do need to play Washington. Maybe they can get a tie. I don't know. Kyle Allen looked fantastic, didn't he, today? I don't know. Well, here's the thing. Thank goodness. Yeah, here's the good news, Jet fans. Just what JS just said in the YouTube live chat. The New York Jets somehow lead the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes. There were 3 winless teams before today's game started. The Falcons got to win. I predicted that, so thank you very much. The Giants got to win. Also predicted that. And the Jets took a big fat L, okay? The Jets, CBW, Jim CBW from Twitter. Fantastic. Thank you so much. And make sure you guys subscribe, hit the channel, show some support. I'd appreciate it. We do this every week. So thank you so much. But I do have to say that, again, the Jets lead the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes. And I would argue that there's not a game on the schedule that the Jets can win. The only one, as I've said already on this show, is the Jets-Dolphins game at home. But that one I don't even feel great about. And DJ, here's the thing. We wait all year for this season. Not for this season, but any football season. Any football fans wow, there's hope, desire for when the season gets here. And now I'm painfully dragging my limp carcass that I call my human body through this season of losing. And it's not even losing. Like, let me give you this stat, okay, from Adam Gase. Here's some Adam Gase stats. It's not just that they're losing, right? The Jets are losing, and that sucks, okay? Adam Gase is now 30-40 as a head coach. 31 of his 40 losses are by double digits. They're not just losing. They're getting their ass kicked. They're getting it's a vasectomy with a rusty fork. They are like, I mean, it is painful. It's razor blades and lemon juice. Like, it's just slow and painful and gross and hard to watch. If I had kids, I would hide their eyes from watching what I have to watch on a weekly basis. And yet, we continue to trot out. Adam Gase is going to figure this out. He's the guy. He's not the guy. I don't know who the guy is, but he's not. And this team is suffering. These fans are suffering. It's just, it's painful, man. And we do this every week. I can't believe I do this show every week. But, yeah, sure. CBW, yeah, man. Maybe you'll get Trey Lance or maybe, Justin Fields. I'm all discombobulated. But, yeah, sure. If the number one pick ends up being Trevor Lawrence or vice versa, if the Jets end up with the number one pick, I guess this is all worth it. That's what other teams went through for suck for luck and tank for Trevor and this phrase and that phrase. And I'll be honest, I don't foresee Trevor Lawrence doing any Peyton Manning action where he just says, hey, see you later. I'm not coming out to the pros. I don't see that happening with Trevor, to be honest with you. I think it's pretty obvious that he's coming out. Gase's last quarterback is undefeated while we have no wins. Hey, there you go, Ryan Tannehill. Wow, he continued. Again, there's that long list of Ryan Tannehill and this player, Devontae Parker, and this guy, and that guy, and this guy, and all these guys leaving and having immediate success. I have no doubt in my mind, by the way, that Le'Veon Bell is going to be used in every, like Dr. Pepper, 23 different ways he's going to be used, and he's going to light up the Jets. I have no doubt about that. My soul is ready for that ass kicking that the Jets are going to take for the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know what the over-under is for that game, but it's got to be over. Take the over. And, yeah, right, quarterback whisperer, he whispers them bullshit and nonsense, apparently. I don't know. I don't know. Brian Poole gets an interception. I guess I'll talk about some of the positives. There's not many, I will be honest here. But let's look through some of the stats. I will say, someone asked me, I think it was Vinny, what's Joe Flacco's stats going to be for this game? LOL at what I said. I said, maybe 250 yards, a couple of touchdowns, maybe. I'm like, the Jets are going to eat over the middle of the field, right? Something. Joe Flacco, 180 yards and a pick. He averaged 4.2 yards per completion. Do you know how hard that is? On 21 passes, 44 attempts to average 4 yards a throw? That is god-awful. And he got sacked 3 times, and one of his sacks, he lost 28 yards on a sack. What? How did that happen? I watched it live, but I'm still asking, how did that happen seriously? No, seriously. 28-yard loss. I would understand that for like a Lamar Jackson, right? He's moving and grooving, trying to keep the play alive. I'm throwing pens all over the place, right? He's moving and grooving. Joe Flacco has the mobility of a parked car. Where is he going? Where is he going? Nowhere. How did he lose 28 yards? Good Lord. Frank Gore had 11 carries in this game. 11? But Michael Pirine had 7. What the bloody hell, man? Honestly, 7 carries? Come on, man. Frank Gore, 11? What are we doing with this game plan? I could call a better game plan. I play Madden on a weekly basis. For God's sakes, Rashad Perriman gets injured again in this game. He came back, but he sucks. He was terrible. Good Lord, he was bad. I mean, honestly. And then some rando guy, right? So, okay, the leading rusher in this game was Frank Gore, 46 yards. Okay, gross. But Ty Johnson, a lot of people in the game are like, who the hell is Ty Johnson? They picked up this scrub off the Detroit Lions practice squad. He comes in, has 3 attempts for 40 yards. Then all of a sudden the Jets, of course, say, all right, Ty Johnson to the bench. Let's do this. And then they fold. And I'm like, what are we doing here? Again, I still want the carries to go to, Michael Pirine, not some rando named Ty Johnson, but still the point. Ty Johnson was working, and then they went away from it. He had that nice 34-yard run. What the hell, man? I mean, honestly. I mean, it was just one thing after another, and it was just god-awful, man. Just god-awful. I will say, if I had to give a game ball, and I don't to, I'm going to give it to a guy that didn't get a lot of pub in this one. Neville Hewitt, man. He was a heat-seeking missile out there, making contact, making plays. Good for Neville. We've had him on the show before. Great guy, and playing his old team, the Miami Dolphins. Good for Neville. And then Sam Ficken, the only thing we really had to cheer for, he was perfect. And then the Jets made him attempt that 55-yard field goal, and he misses. That was the one thing we had to root for. Damn you, Jets. Our kicker missed a kick. Come on, man. We don't even have that now. And Braden Mann, maybe. He had that tackle, right? Braden Mann, the punter, had that tackle. Maybe Braden Mann's your MVP. I don't know. All right, let's go to some more of these comments here. Let me catch back up. All right, let's see here. Quarterbacks get better when they get away from Gase. Agree, DJ. Oh, man, that game versus KC, the Seahawks. Oh, God. Yeah, Russell Wilson is cooking right now. That game's going to be awful. Chiefs, I think, even worse. Serious question, not really. Bigger dumpster. The Jets or Syracuse? I just joked about what the Jets Chiefs spread's going to be. I think I saw Syracuse Clemson this weekend. It's 44.5. I still don't think that's enough for me to take Syracuse. Terrible. At least the reason why I'll say, and I know you're not, like, you're kind of kidding, but like Syracuse, their quarterback is done for the year. DeVito's done. I don't care what Dino says. For the Jets, at least Sam Darnold, I think, is supposed to come back next week. We'll keep an eye out for that. So hopefully that makes him a little bit respectable, but it's hard because, again, they still have shit everywhere. Let's go back to Vinny. I was confused about that sack, too. It seemed super out of character. Like, what are you doing, man? Again, what are you doing? What did you think was going to happen? Again, I make this joke, but I'm dead serious. He has the mobility of a parked car. Where is he going? It's not like he has elite speed to move and juke. He's a white man. He's got no juke, no move, no shake and bake, no nothing. I don't understand. Back to you, DJ. I know Trevor's surprised, but who are we looking at with our other first-round pick? The Seahawks at this point, I believe, are still undefeated. I think they play tonight or tomorrow. No, they have a bye week, excuse me. So, boy, back in first round. Boy, I don't know how you guys feel about maybe I could pair Trevor with a teammate, Travis Etienne, get a game-changer at running back. We don't know what LaMichael Pirine is going to be, quite frankly. So another offensive piece. I'd be all about. Maybe some wide receivers. This class is supposed to be deep at wide receiver. Maybe you can find your right tackle of the future, back end late. Boy. And obviously, if you have the first overall pick, draft is snake. So you're also going to have an early second-round pick. That's another pick to potentially move and groove. So they'll have options. To me, there's not like, hey, they have a need at this and this. It'd be easier to list you the things they don't have a need at. So, right tackle, wide receiver, running back, really skill position in general would be certainly something I look at. The punter gets a game ball like SU every week. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Q's 45, Jesus. Trade down that second first rounder. Also possible. Grab a second, future second, depending. Normally, when you get to that point, teams are a lot more desperate when you get to the back end of the first round, and teams want to trade up like a Lamar Jackson. When the Ravens traded back into the first round for that. Maybe you can take advantage of players dropping. It happens every draft. That could be possible, too. Also, Andre Cisco. For all my Syracuse people who are in my mentions and chats, some of my Syracuse followers, Andre Cisco is a guy to watch. I know he got injured in the freak accident. I would love that. And that's the other thing, too, both for the Jets and the other, right, to your point, the 5-year contract for rookies. That may be a reason why the Jets want that extra first-round pick. So unless the offer is overwhelming, I may keep that because then you can have that extra cheap year deal, the 5 years for the rookies. But everybody that's joined in so far, I'll go over a couple more stats and nuggets here. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe, show your love. I've been doing this. It's been tough every week, but I'm a diehard Jets fan, as you can see, despite everything going on. So we're going to keep making these happen. So hit the bell notification for all our live videos. We have 2 weekly pre- and post-game. So really appreciate all the support, everybody. All right, keep dropping in questions if you have them in the YouTube live chat. Also, I'll go to any other stats that are necessary to shout out. Oh, yeah, I can't believe I haven't mentioned this yet. Well, I know why I haven't. It's just crap. But Marcus May, that was one of the coolest interceptions I've ever seen. Now, it's the best play of the year for the Jets, but there hasn't been much competition, to be honest. That butt interception, please don't make the butt interception and butt fumble a thing. I've been trying to forget the butt fumble since it happened, quite frankly. But great interception, great awareness. He caught it and did one of those maneuvers. Really cool by Marcus May. He's a guy that, quite frankly, trade stock. Boop, 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 boop. Trade deadline's coming up in a couple of weeks here. It could be a Leonard Williams-like deal where you're able to flip him in the last year of his deal for a 2 and a 5, 2 and a 4, somewhere in that ballpark if there's a contending team that is trying to flip the script. More picks the better. The Jets are sellers, and I'm willing to sell pieces that potentially you won't bring back for the long term, like the Jets could have done with Robbie Anderson, especially since they weren't going to bring him back anyway, apparently, for that. The other thing I definitely do want to bring up is I kind of mentioned it off the top in the rant. Undisciplined football team, Jets continue to have penalties. They had ended up with, what was it in this one? 7 penalties for 80 yards. And then it's all the bad ones that they get that really get you. Roughing the passer, or that stupid one where Jordan Jenkins clubbed Ryan Fitzpatrick over the head. That's another one. The penalty, it's such an undisciplined football team. Of course, I also have to talk about, before we get out of here, the Adam Gase, Greg Williams thing. So for those who don't know when you watch the games, the broadcasters like Andrew Catalon and everyone else is on, right? They get unprecedented access to the team, players. They give them all the nuggets so the broadcast can sound better. It's better if the broadcasters know exactly what's going on. So Adam Gase, when he spoke to those broadcasters, part of the CBS crew, he said, man, the Greg Williams thing was out of line. The Adam Gase and the organization strongly did not like what they saw from Greg Williams when he made those comments. We didn't hear from Adam Gase initially because he had his press conference. He left. Greg Williams had his presser. And in case you missed that, Greg Williams basically said when the media asked him about the defense and all the trouble they've been having, they're like, thoughts, Greg? And he's like, well, it's not all on the defense. And then when the media said, what do you mean by that? He's like, well, you can figure it out. Boop. And ended the presser. The Jets as an organization didn't like that. Apparently Adam Gase didn't either. Adam Gase has won every scrum that he's ever had with anybody. Le'Veon Bell, Le'Veon gets cut. Jamal Adams, Jamal gets traded. Sam Darnold, he could be next on the chopping block. Greg Williams could be next on the chopping block. This dude could get fired. And it could be another thing Adam Gase survives. But I'll tell you this. When everyone starts getting fired, that's a bye week thing. But I'm going to be honest. There's so much infection, right? Like I'm watching Game of Thrones right now. And when a limb gets hurt and the rot starts, right, they cut off the whole leg. I don't know. The rot has started with the entire organization. I don't know what you cut off. If you fire Gase, you have to fire Logan's because that's like his right-hand man. You probably have to fire Greg Williams after the underhanded comments he made to Adam Gase. So you have to fire him. You got to fire that guy. You got to fire that guy. Fire. If you're like Donald Trump on Celebrity Apprentice, you're fired. You're fired. You're fired. Everyone is fired. Get out. So I don't know who would be the interim coach. The only other option, I guess, is Sean Jefferson, the assistant head coach. I guess. I don't know. You got to fire everybody. Brant Boyer. I don't know. In terms of who would be the interim, I've got no clue. No idea. So really, it's got no idea what you do, but the firings probably will come in that week 10 bye. Let's go to another question here, long-term question. Who for the head coach of the Jets, realizing it will be a clean house? Man, I'm going to be honest. I don't feel like I'm prepared to answer that question. There's a lot of names floating out there of guys like Eric Bieniemy of the Chiefs, college guys like Matt Campbell, Iowa State. I mean, Todd Monken, Georgia guy, also has some experience in the pros. Again, there's a lot of names floating out there. I don't have a dream candidate yet. My dream candidate from a couple years ago is Matt Rule. I really wanted him on the Jets. That didn't work out. That's the one I kind of called for. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point on Bieniemy. How much is Andy Reid? I don't know. I'm just saying he's one of the names that's kind of floating out there, so we got to see there. Dan Ellingwood, former teammate. What's up, man? Let's see. Gase has to go. He's been a dumpster fire as a coach, period, and TBH Darnold hasn't looked that good. I understand there are issues on the line, but he just makes dumb decisions with the ball. That's true. The rookie mistakes are really terrible. Again, I'll give another shout-out here. Also do it before the end of the video as I'm answering these questions. If you're new to the stream, make sure you subscribe. Really appreciate the support. Trying to build up the subscriber base for this. It's a new project, so thank you so much. But, yeah, again, the Darnold thing is complicated, but if you end up with the number one pick, you have no choice. I talked about how potentially there could be a choice a couple weeks ago. There's no choice now. Lawrence has 19 touchdowns to 1 interception this year. He is the generational talent. You've got absolutely no choice. You have to take Lawrence. So Darnold, you just, I guess, trade, which is depressing to talk about. I'm not going to lie. Belichick assistants and their failures when it comes to Bieniemy. Sure, other Belichick guys, the relationship with Reid. Again, the branches, who you want to go after, I don't know. like I said, a couple of years ago, my guy was Matt Rule. That's who I wanted. He looks pretty good in Carolina. I do not have a dream guy right now, but I'm sure I will soon. I should have had one as soon as Adam Gase was hired, to be honest. I should have had one ready. But I have some plans on bringing people on the show, this one and the Jet Zone, my weekly New York Jets podcast, to break down potential candidates once that happens. I'm hoping to do that on the bye week in Week 10 for all those interested for that on the Jets. Oh, boy. All right, guys. Jets are 0-6 again for the third time in franchise history. They're 0-6 in 1995, or winless, rather, may be the best way to say this, because in 1996, 0-6. They're also 0-6 in 1965. They were, or winless, rather. They were 0-5-1 in 1965. The fact that I have all these fun facts is depressing. I'm also on Instagram, boygreen25, B-O-Y, green the color 25. Also, you guys can follow me on all social media. I got a professional Facebook page, boygreen25, Twitter, boygreen25, again, B-O-Y, green the color 25. Thanks for the support. A game ahead in the race for Trevor. That's right. There's the positive. There's the silver lining from this one. It's a game ahead, and now you just got to root for all the one-win teams to continue to create that separation. But again, I don't think the Jets are winning a game this year. But the more separation, the better. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Again, hit the subscribe button if you're new. Really appreciate the support. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week for our next pregame show for the New York Jets. And it should be another good one. Jets 0-6. And it's only going to get worse from here. I thought it wasn't, but yeah, it's only going to get worse from here. So everybody, we'll see you then. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, like the video, and we'll see you later. All right, thanks, everybody. We're out.